Hello everybody, it's a beautiful late winter day. The snows have just passed and our mini donkeys Bud and Emmy Lou are out enjoying a wonderful, beautiful day. And they're happy and they're doing well, and I want to show you what we did for them, for our chickens, during that big snow event that we had, big snow event for us over a 3-day period in order to keep them safe and happy. The snow event does not change the fact that the animals are hungry. Hey, kitty. What do you think of the snow, kitty? Hi, donkeys. Hi, Bud. Hey, Emmy Lou. What do you guys think? The donkeys are definitely ready for their morning food. They get a little bit of grain mixed in with supplements for nutrition and for joint health. And they are a little more skittish than usual. And I've also got to knock out all the snow out of these pans. I started storing the pans inside, feeding them inside their enclosure after the second day. Bud always steals the pan away from Emmy Lou, so I always move one a little further away, and then he likes to be petted just about any time, really, so I can distract him with some pets and keep him from going over and stealing Emmy Lou's food. These guys do have their winter coats in. You can kind of see that they have thicker, longer beards around their chins and jaws, but it's not good for them to get wet. And so on this day, I made the decision that I really needed to make their inside shelter a little bit more enticing for them to be spending more time in. Typically inside their enclosure area, I don't put hay down. This is some of our hay from our unirrigated pasture that we use for bedding, and so they're not going to be all that inclined to want to eat it, but they will be a little warmer in this area. It also does make it a little bit more of a chore to clean because there's a lot more material, but feeding them and otherwise having them in this area will keep them drier and warmer. So on the second day after spreading that hay down, I'm now feeding them and leaving their pans inside this area so that they don't have to spend any time that they don't want to out in the elements. And they're going to stay a little warmer and drier because of that. When I built this chicken coop back in 2020, I wanted to put it up high, and you can see it's up on piers, and that does a couple things. It creates a space for them underneath there where they can go if it's either wet or really hot. So I'm usually just open it up from the inside and the chickens go out and I toss the grain out of their access hatch there. But because of the weather being as it is, I'm going out into their yard and tossing their grain under so they don't have to go through the snow to find grain. Last January, we were traveling and we had a very large snow event, one of the biggest snow events that we've had in decades. And over a foot of snow over a couple days, and the trees couldn't handle it. Dad actually had a challenging time driving to and from the farm to take care of the animals. And a lot of trees were coming down. Thankfully, we're right next to a dairy, and you can see kind of the edge of the pasture on the other side of the fence there. And they came out and moved this tree that fell, so he wasn't stranded for very long behind that tree, which was great. But not only did a lot of trees fall, but a lot of structures fell too. Not only flat roofs on commercial buildings in town, but This structure here with a aviary wire that I put up to keep the chickens safe from predators, we actually lost several chickens that we were pasture raising to hawk attacks during the day. And that was the first time that that had really happened. And we're starting to see a lot more hawk activity in the area. So we decided we would keep them in a yard and put this aviary wire over the top to keep them safe. And it works great. It also cuts down on the number of songbirds that come in and steal their food and limits their exposure to catching bird flu, but it's susceptible to collapsing in weight. So now when it snows, I go in and knock the snow through the wire to keep the weight off, so that that doesn't happen another time. We have a good time taking the dogs out in the snow. Winnie, in particular, our little corgi spaniel mix, loves the snow. Lindo likes it pretty well too. We just put their coats on and they love running around. You can see a lot of the tracks from particularly deer, but other animals, and they really have a good time playing around in the snow. And even though Winnie is ridiculously cute and is the star of this YouTube channel, really, she is really not the best on leash. So she gets a bee in her bonnet about the pace that she wants to walk and where she wants to go. And that's even more compounded by the snow. So you can see here, Erin is leading them, and she is not responding to anything. So she just tosses the leash down. And then she gets FOMO because she's worried that she's going to be missing out on treats and the fun that Lindo and her are having. So she just follows right along, dragging her leash behind her.
Come on.